We will call to order our September 23rd Planning and Zoning Board meeting. As always, we begin with our agenda. We will adopt it unless someone has some changes or edits or anything like that. If not, would I hear a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor of adopting the agenda, would you please say aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. We have the minutes from August 26th, and once again, same rules apply. Any edits or changes? Otherwise, I'm listening for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes for August 26th, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That is also a unanimous motion. That carries. We have two cases this evening. One is a rezoning. One is LDO amendments. We will start with 19 REZ 09. Ms. Puckett's here to talk to us about Morrisville Parkway.
Thank you. Good evening. This is a request to apply initial Town of Cary zoning to 2.53 acres located at 9916 Morrisville Parkway. The property is located on the north side of Morrisville Parkway at its intersection with Fersen Road. According to Town of Cary GIS, a stream buffer impacts a small area in the northwestern corner of the site, but no wetlands or floodplains appear to be present. The property is located in Wake County and is currently zoned R40 watershed. The applicant is requesting to annex and rezone the property to R12 conditional use and watershed protection overlay district. The applicant is offering 3 conditions related to the request. These include use and density will be limited to a maximum of 3 detached dwellings. No lots will have direct access to Morrisville Parkway. And public right-of-way has been offered for dedication prior to the recordation of any plat dividing the property as shown on the following slide. The right-of-way dedication is a little over a half acre and includes a 30-foot wide strip along the Morrisville Parkway frontage and a larger area at the corner of Fersen Road and Morrisville Parkway. Fersen Road is a local street, so this area at the intersection would not be required for dedication even if this property was subjected to a full development plan review. By offering this zoning condition, this dedication would help facilitate a future realignment of Fersen Road and Green Hope School Road. The dedication does exempt the applicant from subdivision review, as it decreases the site acreage to just under 2 acres. The applicant would thus not have to meet typical subdivision requirements, including the construction of roadway improvements and provision of a 50-foot streetscape. Staff's analysis against the Imagine Cary Community Plan finds that the proposed rezoning most directly addresses policies in the Shape Chapter and the Green Level Special Planning Area. Regarding the future growth framework and special planning area, the subject site is located in Green Level in the neighborhoods west of Flat Branch. The proposed use, density, and transition in this area. A future street side trail is proposed along the property frontage on Morrisville Parkway, which would connect to an existing trail at Copperleaf and Green Hope School Road. As an exempt subdivision, this project would not be responsible for the construction of the trail segment. The site is also located just over 300 feet east of the American Tobacco Trail, and there is a proposed community park approximately 0.3 miles to the south. The property fronts on Morrisville Parkway, currently a 2-lane thoroughfare, shown on the planned roadway widths map as a future 4-lane median divided road. Right-of-way would be dedicated with this rezoning, but improvements would not be required to be constructed. No citizens attended the neighborhood meeting in June. Since that date, staff received an email asking for more details of the case, including questions about buffer requirements and about the future potential realignment of Fersen and Green Hope School Road. Another recent email referencing several ongoing rezoning cases in the area also cited general concerns about buffers and traffic in the area. A public hearing was held at the August 15th Town Council meeting. No citizens spoke at that meeting, and there were no questions from council members. Overall, staff finds the rezoning consistent with the Imagine Cary Community Plan. The request addresses some of the policies of the Live and Shape chapters and is an appropriate use and density in the Green Level Special Planning Area. The dedication of right-of-way at the corner of Fersen Road and Morrisville Parkway is beneficial to the town for purposes of executing a future realignment project at that intersection. As Fersen Road is a local road on the planned roadway widths map, a typical development would not be required to grant this right-of-way otherwise. However, the trade-off with the right-of-way dedication is that the property will be able to develop under the exempt subdivision regulations, which would not require the owner to construct roadway improvements, construct a street side trail, or provide a streetscape on Morrisville Parkway. On the balance, staff is of the opinion that the benefits of the right-of-way dedication outweigh the value of these improvements. In evaluating this request, the board may wish to consider whether the proposal is appropriate in the neighborhoods west of Flat Branch, and furthermore, the board may wish to weigh the benefit of the right-of-way dedication with the waiving of certain requirements by permitting the property to develop as an exempt division of land. This concludes staff's presentation. The applicant is here to provide his comments, and after that, staff will be available for any questions.
Thank you. We will hear from the applicant.
Thank you. My name is Vince DeFreitas. I'm the site owner and the applicant. And Aaron did a good job summarizing the site and the project and what I'd hoped to do there. The only thing I'll add is there are very similar subdivisions, both to the south and north, already existing. And the site is just 3 lots, exempt subdivision. I don't have anything else to add, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Thanks very much. So does anyone here have any questions for the applicant or for the staff? And I'll start to the right with Sherry.
I actually don't have any questions about this. It seems pretty straightforward.
I don't either.
Moving right along.
I just have one easy question. When I looked this up, this had an Apex address. Does that change if it's annexed? I know we're not doing the annexation. I'm just curious how
I'm
that.
not certain that the mailing address would change. I believe that's just based on the zip code in which it's located, not necessarily the municipal boundary.
Okay.
No questions.
I have no questions.
I had a similar question about Apex, but everything else seems straightforward.
Rounding out the room. Nothing. Nothing from me either. So if no one has any questions for the staff or for the applicant, should we move towards a motion? Get this ball rolling?
I'll make a motion. I'll move that the board find case number 19 REZ09 is consistent with the comprehensive plan and all other applicable plans for the reasons set forth in the staff report, presentation, and discussion by the Planning and Zoning Board.
Second.
Any further discussion on this?
I don't really know. I mean, it's straightforward, 3 units. I think the land, although the developer's not developing, I think land coming to the town takes care of that problem for eventually that'll be maybe even fixed, addressed under the bond referendum. Who knows?
Anything to add?
The value of the right-of-way is significant, and so I think it is a good trade-off that benefits the town.
Yeah. It's been quite a while since we've seen a right-of-way trade-off come before us. Yeah. Okay, if no one else has anything to mention, I don't see anyone signifying that they do. Would all those in favor please say aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries unanimously. We will move to our next case. Thank you for helping us out there. We'll go to Act 12. Ms. Redling's here to talk about land development ordinance amendments.
Good evening, Board. Tonight, for your review, I'll present an overview of Act 12, which is a round of proposed amendments to the Town Code and to the Land Development Ordinance. Act 12 comprises 3 groups of amendments, which I'll call items. Item A is made up of amendments required by Senate Bill 355, recent legislation that took effect this past July. Item B is a series of amendments to clean up department names and position titles in the Town Code and the LDO. And item B also includes the removal of some outdated sections from the LDO. And item C is a group of 6 technical and minor amendments. Looking closer at item A amendments, Senate Bill 355 requires that we make changes to the expiration of development applications and permits, including site and subdivision plans. Under the new rules, development applications will expire after 6 months of inactivity, and under our current ordinances, site and subdivision plans expire after 3 months of inactivity. Once they've been approved, development plans and permits will automatically expire after 1 year unless development work has, in the words of the legislation, substantially commenced. And once an approved development plan has been substantially commenced, a site-specific development plan does not expire unless development work is intentionally discontinued for at least 24 months. Currently, our LDO requires that an approved development plan be completed within 5 years, so that will be a change. These new rules apply to all development applications and permits, not just site and subdivision plans, including sign permits, special use permits, and variances. But they don't apply to rezonings. Another LDO change required by Senate Bill 355 is that a downzoning request by a third party, such as a neighbor, is prohibited. And downzoning is defined as a zoning category that allows a less intense use of property. Moving on to item B, in this group of amendments, department names and titles, both in the general code, town code, and in the land development ordinance, are being aligned with the town's current organizational structure. We're also removing sections of Town Code Chapter 34 that pertain to the operation of the automated red light cameras at intersections, a program that has been discontinued. And finally, item C is made up of a group of 6 technical and minor amendments, which are in the attachment to your staff report, but we'll be glad to discuss them if you have any questions. On August 15th, the Town Council held a public hearing on these proposed amendments. No citizens came forward, and no issues or questions were raised by council. This concludes my presentation, and we're available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. I will start on my left for any questions we might have for Ms. Redmond.
None.
Me either.
I have no questions.
I have a dumb question. Third-party downzoning means someone other than the town or someone other than the property owner? Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Fine. Questions?
I have one question. It's in item A. I love the term substantially commenced. Has the town staff thought about what that means? I mean, beyond putting a site sign of future, future whatever is going to be here. I mean, is there any thought about, how we're going to define it, given the fact that probably the General Assembly offered very little guidance?
We have thought about it, and our legal staff is thinking hard about it.
From my professional experience, make sure there really is something substantial, as in like more than just even dirt being, there can't be equipment placed on the site or even some initial dirt turning, but I mean, there's got to be something that resembles infrastructure or something that's just my 2 cents worth on that.
Well, actually, there's some case law out there about somebody wants to create a lien on a piece of property, and they go out and dump 10 bags of cement on the property from the building company, and that starts a lien period and puts them ahead of people. And that sort of question is difficult because it's fact specific.
Thanks.
Nope, I'm good.
I'll just say that where I grew up, when someone shows up with a couple of bags of cement, you got bigger problems than a lien.
True.
Anything else? If not, could we have a motion for the LDO amendments, please?
I'll move that the board find LDO Amendment Act 12 is consistent with the comprehensive plan and all the other applicable plans for the reasons set forth in the staff report, presentation, and discussion by the Planning and Zoning Board.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion on this?
Only because nobody else would make the motion.
I just didn't know what it was yet. Act 12. I was like going back and looking.
I'm fine with it.
Good. Well, then, would all those in favor of Act 12 please say aye? Aye. Any opposed, say no. That motion also carries unanimously, and I think that is the end of the voting agenda here. Do we have any old business, new business?
I wanted to throw out there, Mr. Chairman, being as tonight is your last meeting on this board, on behalf of myself and the board, we wanted to thank you for your service. It's been a pleasure, and definitely wishing you the best.
Oh, that's quite kind of you.
I second.
Thanks very much.
Yeah.
Anything on this side? This wouldn't be a P&Z meeting without me going on about something. But I just want to spend 1 second, and I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about those of you who are out there watching. if you're watching this live, or even if you're watching, on a recording, and you say to yourself, that looks pretty easy, I can do this, you're absolutely right. And if you're watching, you are so more involved than the average person in this town. And I want you to build on that. And here's what I want you to do for me. I want you to go online, go to the townofcary.org site, and sign up for email notices. And then in the late spring, you'll get an email that'll say the board application process is beginning. Apply. Participate. I did that 16 years ago, and I'm really happy I did. And if you do, and you get accepted and selected for a board, the one thing I'll assure you, you'll be really hard-pressed to find a better group to work with than the 8 people here, the 4 I have on my right and my left. And you've made it super easy on me. It's been a phenomenal experience. The only question you have to ask yourself before you try to get on P&Z is, do you like candy? The answer to that is yes, then by all means, get on the website. It's been a blast. Thank you once again, and I'm looking around to see who wants to send us out of here. Well, if no one will, then I guess I'll have to make a motion to adjourn. Come on now. There's candy back there.
A second.
All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, and good evening.
You're right.
This has been a production of Cary TV. Visit the Town of Cary's website at townofcary.org.